Let's get the thoughts now. Zaid Alisa, he's a Middle East analyst and author too, and he joins us. Good evening to you. Welcome to RT. Thanks for coming on. Just in your opinion then, how crucial is this agreement that was reached by Russia, Iran and Turkey?
Well, I think it is highly crucial and it's extremely important because the three main forces which have prepared the ground and paved the way for an end to this dramatic war which has been ongoing for 7 years are actually at the front or at the forefront of pushing for it. They are Russia, Iran and Turkey. These are the major players who tackled head-on, and their intervention was absolutely crucial, effective and efficient. We've seen the Russian Air Force taking ISIL apart and delivering devastating, crucial support and backing to the Syrian army. We've seen also the Iranians throwing their weight behind the legitimate government, and we've seen the Turkish intervention to actually calm down the opposition groups. So these are the three major players. We've seen that the Russian intervention is truly a game changer, in stark contrast to the American intervention, which was at the beginning simply aimed at containing and keeping ISIL as a credible, viable threat. And we've seen at the very end, American actually using ISIL as foot soldiers, shielding them, sheltering them, according to the BBC, and shifting them to fight another day in Abu Kamal. And that basically reinforces the term, if ISIL is fighting against Russia, Iran and the Syrian government, they are actually good ISIL. If they are fighting against the American allies, that is Saudi Arabia and others, then they are the bad ISIL and they need to be wiped out. And that's why we are hearing about Mattis, that is the American defense minister, saying that the Americans have to stay there in order. They've changed and they shifted the goalposts, and this time it's not fighting ISIL but simply to stabilize the whole area. That is a political process, and they want it similar to Iraq. That's the excuse, same excuse, and they shifted it in Iraq from nation building to actually again stabilizing the whole area, and they kept it very vague, mysterious, no specifics.
How do you think the Americans then will react to these trilateral talks that have been taking place and the movement to the next stage, as the three countries involved have said, it's time for a political settlement, it's time for, in their words, a Syrian National Dialogue Congress, where all-inclusive talks for all political parties to try and find a solution? How do you think America will respond or think about what's been said in Sochi?
I do believe that they will try their absolute best. They won't leave a stone unturned in their efforts to actually sabotage and torpedo that initiative, because it doesn't serve their interests. And that's why they're talking about preserving their military presence, shoring it up and building it up in both countries, that is in Iraq and also in Syria, under the excuse of stabilization, when we can clearly see that it is in their interest to weaken the central governments in both countries, destabilize the whole area, and stoke and stir up the sectarian and ethnic tension in Iraq, and also stoke and stir up and ignite the ethnic tension between the Syrian defense forces, who are predominantly Kurdish, and the Arab majority in that country. And that's why they are hell-bent, steadfastly determined to stay on under different excuses. They do not want to stabilize the area. They are the ones interested in actually weaken central governments and creating the conditions and actually capitalizing on those conditions to ensure that they can use it to bolster and intense and consolidate their influence, to reassert their authority and restore their power in this vital area.
OK, I certainly take your opinion on that. But let's get back to the talks that took place today and this sort of political agreement they hope to put in place to find, as they say, a political settlement. It all looks good on paper, doesn't it? But practically speaking, how difficult will it be to get something like this to work?
Well, definitely they need to get all the important and crucial parties on board. That is, they need to get everybody to agree to start talking, everybody to give up relying and actually trying to push for more power and more territory, and actually to agree that there is no end to the, let's say, the military. There is no crucial end in sight. There is no military winner, but it has to be sorted out and settled through political dialogue. And there are parties who do not accept the realities on the ground. They still want to change them. And those who are spearheading that actually drive are still the Americans. They're not convinced. And still the Saudis, who come out as the major losers in that. Let's not forget, it wasn't, as Mattis claims, the authority vacuum that actually led to the existence of ISIS. It was the enormous support and backing, that is the financing, arming, logistical support that the Americans themselves, that is Biden, have acknowledged, and also Clinton have also confirmed, saying billions of dollars have been transferred to create ISIL and Jabhat al-Nusra, which is another affiliate of Al-Qaeda. And unless those parties are convinced that there is no military solution, and they have to admit that they have actually been defeated in that fight, and it is up to the Syrian people who actually determine who is their president and who is going to lead them, and to confirm that those parties are not really freedom fighters. That is Jabhat al-Nusra and ISIL. They are radical extremists who adopt the same ideology exported and propagated by the Wahhabi Salafi establishment, which is based in Riyadh. So unless all parties agree to that and resort to talking and sitting down, discussing the whole issue peacefully, then we won't have a settlement.
We're going to have to wrap it up there, but appreciate you coming on to RT. Thanks for your thoughts. That was Zaid Alisa, a Middle East analyst and author too. Thank you.